Hey there everyone, this is Weems from Grow Up and Game, and you are watching Tavern Tycoon Dragon's Hangover. I've got a little bit of downtime between now and Satisfactory Early Access, so I decided, hey, what the heck, let's take a look around and see if there's any games on Steam that are of interest to me. And this one caught my eye. One, because it's a Tycoon-style game, which it's been a long time since I played anything like Roller Coaster Tycoon or Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, but I used to like them a lot. And also, it's tavern-themed, which is kind of fun, because one of my favorite card games right now is actually the Red Dragon Inn, which is essentially where you play as a bunch of D&D adventurers after they've gone and plundered the dungeon, and the goal is to be the last one standing from a sobriety standpoint. So, thematically, I'm into it, and you know what, for the price of $13, I figured why not. It's got some pretty decent reviews on Steam here. It's looking like it's mostly positive right now. I'll give it a chance. And instead of following in the same, following in the footsteps of what I did with Satisfactory, where I just kind of, YOLO'd it and jumped in and didn't really prepare in advance, this time I decided to kind of get my beak wet a little bit before jumping into recording the session. So, rather than sit here and harp on about that, let's dive right in. I'm going to start off on normal difficulty. You have the options to do very easy, normal, hard, tycoon. This was about right. I can see where this game can get a lot more difficult moving forward, so I think progressing through the game at least once on normal is probably the right way for me to go. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and we're going to start it off. And one of the interesting things about this game is it's actually made by a single developer. So, I mean, I know most people here probably want to just judge the game on, the final product, but it is pretty cool that you've got one guy that went in and basically built this all from scratch, and with the help of, a community pushing behind him, made an entire game. You don't see that too often, especially nowadays. Games are pretty complicated to make, and I think that's to be commended, but we'll see if the game kind of stands up on its own 2 feet, though. So here we go. Welcome to your first tavern. Get the tavern up and running by placing a bar and a guest room and a kitchen. Oh, what's this doing? So actually, what I'm going to do here is, this is a little tutorial. I think if I restart, it'll let me skip this. So let's do that. I already did that once, and if I have one complaint, it is that the tutorial is kind of forced on you. Oh, there we go. Looks good. And if I have another complaint, there's a weird requirement where you need to create a standing clock before you can pause the game. So I'm going to purchase this. Drop that. Suddenly, pause. Okay, now we can kind of sit here and play, and I can go and explain what's going on, because the game actually moves pretty quickly. You need to really have your game plan hashed out beforehand, otherwise you're going to start burning through cash really quickly. And especially on this first level, we have a grace period here of 6 months where periodically you have an inspector that comes in, and if you do well on the inspection, you can get a nice reputation boost. And the goal of this first level here is to hit a reputation of, I believe, 500, so we're 200 out of 500, and also basically not go under. There's no real cash gain we're looking for, we're just looking not to go under. And 41,400, as far as I can tell, is actually a pretty healthy starting amount. So let's go and start this off. Now you have a couple different build options. You can create rooms, which is essentially kind of think like SimCity, where you go and you drag residential, industrial, commercial. It's like that, only with rooms. So we have guest rooms, which are basically beds. We are an inn, and we can, charge people to sleep here. Restrooms, people gotta go. If they don't have a restroom to go to, then they're probably gonna go somewhere you don't want them to. So we have to have some restrooms for them. Staff room. Staff works hard. They need to be able to take a break. A kitchen. We can set up tables for people to order food, and we need a place to cook that food. Admin office. This is kind of like a well, admin office, where we get the ability to do things like trade with other stores and kind of just take some other administrative actions. And then last but not least, a research workshop, which over the long run gives you the ability to either improve your existing recipes or to create new recipes. Now, I have to admit that I've already kind of done this level. I wanted to get a solid understanding of the mechanics before really jumping into this, so I've already got kind of a blueprint for a tavern. Now, I'm not saying that this is the perfect way to do it, actually far from. I'm sure there's much more optimized ways to do this, but I believe I have a winning formula, so we're going to start by kind of working on that. So the first thing I made over here was the staff room. So what you do is you go, and they have minimum size requirements. As you can see, it's got red dots here, which means you can't build it, but once I stretch it just large enough, it lets me. So we're going to do a 4x5 staff room. Then you gotta click the next button up here to proceed. And then you gotta place the door, which we will put right here. And then we're gonna put a couch here, rug here. And with the right click, you can rotate. Drop something like that there. And actually, I want another couch just because, hey, staff works hard. We got to make sure that if more than one person needs to use it, that they can. And just so you know, if at this point in time, if I had not paused the game, we might be into February or March by now. So the game starts rolling, whether you're ready or not. So yeah, building that clock and pausing it, really important. If I had any feedback for the developer, just let the player pause the game. It's really that important. But moving on, let's proceed. So we built that thing. Sorry, that thing. We've built the staff room. Next, let's get a kitchen up. We go here. We're going to do the minimum size kitchen, 5x5. And we got to place the door. And we'll place that here. That here. And this, oh, how about I rotate it here? Now, to my knowledge, well, at least in this run, I didn't need anything more than this, but you'll notice here, I think there's 4 stations. So when you start getting into kind of larger scale operations here, the size and capacity of these rooms is going to start to become important. So you might need multiple tables if you're really kicking out that much food, for example. But for the time being, one should do the trick. So we'll say we're good to go. And then last but not least on this section will be this research area. 5x5 here. Build. We'll place the door over on this side. And we'll place a keg here. And a burner here. And it looks like you can drop the burner on the keg. Yeah, I don't think that matters a whole lot, but we'll keep them a little separate here. So we have these kind of basic buildings set up. But the most important thing to build is actually furniture. This is kind of how everything happens. Well, it's not the most important thing. It's tied for importance with the rooms. So the first and actually most important piece of furniture is the bar. You can't be a tavern without a bar. So you click that. We're going to create 1 bar, purchase it. And then you'll see that where this arrow is here. And that's basically saying that patrons are going to come in from this direction. So we're going to place it, put it right next to the kitchen so that kind of all the action happens right here. So we drop this guy down. And what good is a bar without a bartender? Now, to hire someone, you just go click, and it seems like it's kind of somewhat randomly generated. Or maybe actually randomly generated. But you go and you have your option to hire either a maiden, a bartender, a handyman, or a clerk. And maidens basically go and serve and cook food. Bartenders serve drinks. Handymen are your janitors. They go and clean and fix things. And then clerks manage the reception desk to check in and out guests. And all of these, everyone's essential. You're not going to do too well if you just don't hire handymen or don't hire maidens. You really need all of them for this tavern to function properly. So we're going to hire that bartender. I'm going to drop him off here. And before we kind of kick things off, let's see if we can set the rest of this up. So we go down here, and we have our research workshop. We don't have an admin's office, so I'm going to go ahead and build that over here, actually. And again, it doesn't need to be super big. So build, and then place the door, we'll say here. This is my office here. I'm not sure how important the layout of these items is, but you make it look aesthetically pleasing. It seems like there might be some kind of hidden mechanic to it, but I'm not entirely sure. But now that we've got this guy built out, let's get actually some proper rooms set up. So some guest rooms. So if we go like this, we're going to build a 4x4 guest room here. And then actually, oh, hold on, sorry. I forgot that I need to place the door, place the bed. And actually, a larger guest room, much like in real life, can actually command a higher rate. So I'm going to drop that guy there, create this, and before we get going, I'm going to create a whole bunch more of these. So we're going to have, see, the minimum size is actually 3x4. So we'll create that one, place the door like that, that. Done. Let's get another one of these up here. Guest room. Build. Let's say 5 guest rooms. Yeah, 5 guest rooms I think ought to be good. We'll place the door on the inside again. And a bed. Chest of drawers. This. Starting to get a little bit quick here. Now, I'm sure on harder difficulties you have a much, much smaller initial VC funding going into this. But I'm still only down to like 28K, so I'm actually sitting pretty here. I'm going to go here, right by our clock. We're going to go there. Build. I think you understand the process at this point. Other unfortunate thing is when the game is paused, the music isn't on. So hold on, let's see if we can... Oh, maybe not. Guests need a reception. Need a reception to check in for a room. Receptionist. I guess reception area, technically. Let's go guest room. Last one, I swear. Then I'm done. Proceed. Place the door. Da, da, da. Okay, 5 ought to do it. And so speaking of which, let's get that reception up. Reception desk. Where should we put this? It'd be nice if we could put it there, but that's unfortunately kind of taken. You know what? We can just do this, I think. The moment they step in here, they get their needs addressed. Hopefully, mechanically, this will work okay. Now, as I showed you before, you need a clerk. So we're going to hire this clerk here. And the next step will be kind of setting up our tables for food. So another thing you can make is a stage, which is basically where occasionally like a bard will come in and, kind of put on a show for everyone. So I'm going to set this stage up right here because that'll hit everyone at the bar, and we'll set up some tables around that too so that there will be, hopefully, get the maximum benefit out of it. So as you can see, there's quite a decent number of mechanics kind of intermingling here, and this is only the first level. As you move forward, different pieces of functionality open up, and assuming that the developer continues to support this, we could see even more open up in the future. But the next part is, let's get some tables. And let's get, 8 of them? Let's start with 8 of them. We'll purchase them. So, like I said before, we're going to basically dot these all around here. So let's go like that. Here. And then I think, yep, that'll work. Here. 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 That's all the tables. You know what? We got cash. Let's set up some more tables. Purchase. Here and here. That's fairly aesthetically pleasing. I can work with that. Got a little lane for people to go through here. Most of them are bunched up towards the entrance of the kitchen. I like it. Let's roll with it. And now for these tables to function, we're going to need some maidens. I'm going to start off with just 2. Because, you know, initially our reputation's kind of low. We're not going to be getting a lot of patrons, so paying up, you know, a whole bunch of extra staff that don't get used won't be too helpful. And I'm going to have the same approach to the handyman here. We're just going to get one of these guys, and we're going to flex up as needed. Okay, so we have staff. We have all of this set up. The last thing we need is a place for people to pee. So let's set up a restroom. Now there's a weird limitation here, where clearly this is 5x4. And you'd think that you'd be able to build the restroom here, but it like kind of wants to try. You see that? But just doesn't let you do it. I don't know what the deal is with that, but that's okay. We'll get around it. We're going to set up our restrooms. Let's say... yeah, these are going to be the cheap seats over here. Oh, I can't. Can I? Maybe there is just some limitations on where they can be set up. Alright, we'll have some big old luxurious restrooms back here. We're going to set that up. Doors here. And actually, we're going to create a whole bunch of stalls. Just want to make sure we don't run out of places for people to pee, you know? Oh, that's weird. So it actually didn't let me... So I was able to hold shift there to place multiple stalls down, and it kind of blew up on me trying to do that. So let's build that. Door. Shift. Oh, God. Shift. Not shift. Now we can set the basin, and we can move... oh, relocate all furniture. Okay. Yeah, definitely some things could be a little more user-friendly, to put it simply. There's still some work that needs to be done in that regard. Again. Oh, there's the move or remove furniture. Okay, no, maybe I just need to know what my options are. Don't click shift. Drop the basin. Get out of here. All right, we got our restroom set up back there. We got all this set up here. We've got staff. I think we are good to go. The most important thing is we need to name our tavern. Now, if you've followed my D&D campaign journal, you'll know that the party in my campaign goes to a tavern called the Hasty Loft. So that's what we're going to call it. The Hasty Loft. Set name. Thanks, little guy. Our tavern's going to be awesome. So while we're waiting for things to open up, you'll see that I've actually got a little mail down here. Get ready to get my people drunk. I am ready to do that. So this is the local lord, Lord Peter, who actually also happens to be the developer's name. And he's just basically saying that we have loans available if you need them, and other than that, good luck creating your business. Thanks, Peter. So, another handy function of the clock. Let's speed things up a little bit. I think normally it's probably expected that you're going to go and try and get things set up quickly, and, they give you this buffer time, essentially, to do all of that, instead of me just going and creating a clock right away. So, yay, fireworks! Fireworks, it's open, grand opening, everything's so excited, and we have our first customer. Where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna go? So he is gonna go to the bar, and hopefully our bartender does his job. But actually, I forgot to do something critical here, so I'm gonna pause it again. if you go to manage here, so actually let's go through this menu real quick. You saw zone, you saw furniture, you saw staff. There's this research option. So over time, your employees will learn more and they'll eventually try to apply that into research. Now, because I know this is a short level, instead of focusing on new recipes, I just want to make our current recipes better. So I'm going to slide this all the way over to improvement. And then the important thing I forgot to do is go to the Manage tab where we see our staff. Now you can see they all start off kind of pissed off. 51 happiness, 53 happiness, 65 happiness. And once they drop too low, they start demanding raises. And normally they're pretty steep raises. So you have the choice of either paying the raise or letting them go, or they'll walk away. And early on, that's not a big problem. But later on, if they're higher level, they have a lot of knowledge and experience, you want to retain them. So rather than wait for them to get unhappy and demand these exorbitant raises, I'm actually going to give them a nice little sign-on bonus. So I think it's only about 10 gold for one of these, and we're just going to max them out. And as far as I can tell, this is a pretty cheap way to handle it. Yeah, so 10, you can see the 10s pop up in that lower left-hand corner, and that's a pretty cheap way to keep them happy. So we're going to turn it back on. So we got a bunch of happy employees. We got our first customer being served, and we got our friend over here actually already doing some research. She is just kind of loitering around. And you do have the ability to pick people up. So she says just walking around. So I could go and drop her here if I wanted to. Not a big deal at the moment, but as more customers come in, we're going to want to make sure people are where they're supposed to be. And we made our first sale, and we got a tip. Somehow, I think we spent more this month. But that's okay. You got to start somewhere, right? Another couple things you can do is you've got some furniture options. So things like a bench. I'm going to actually create a few of these guys. We'll create some benches kind of along this back wall here. And then I'm also going to create another standing clock and put it over here. Because one thing that people complain about a lot is not knowing what time it is. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to move this by the bar too, so that, as people go and finish their day of work and not realize that they have to be in the quarry early in the morning, they have an idea of what time it is. Just trying to do the public service there. Beyond that, we got some mail here. So, monthly report, January, how did we do? 5 visitors, total monthly income. So this is actually a bug. It says almost 10,000 gold. We definitely know that's not the case. What that was is when you go and delete buildings, like how I was creating the room and trying to, tweak it and optimize and had to sell and resell it a few times, they were counting that as income, but it also balances against the expenditure, so in the long run it's not a big deal. It's just kind of a weird bug that's not accounted for right now. And then the staff, we're paying wages of 817 gold per month, which isn't too bad, and we hired all this staff. And now we have the Department of Health is thinking of visiting. It's nice of them to ask us, but you know what? I'm going to say I think things are in good enough shape. I would like you to come visit. So these inspections, you can get a nice little bonus if you do well. And part of it is also the design of your tavern as well as the state of it. So I've got those benches. Let's get some bookshelves up. How about 3 of them? We can put it by the research area. Thematic, right? So we'll put those bookshelves there for inquisitive minds. And we already got our first definitely drunk guest. God bless them. But people are starting to come in a little bit. Let's see, how are the employees doing? So actually, Mr. Porter here, already pretty upset. It looks like she's bored. So, I mean, I'm going to go and pay her a little bit more of a bonus to keep her happy. Same with my handyman here. I mean, they just haven't had much to do, I think, so, they're trying to move up the ladder, and unless you have things to add to your resume, they're going to be a little bit upset. At least that's my assumption. Who's this guy walking right behind the bar? Oh, is that the inspector? Oh no, he's just going to the bookshelf. Okay. Walking around like he owns the place. Who's this guy? So we got Fried Dragon Tavern. Oh, someone puked over here. And you hear that squeaking? There's a mouse somewhere here. I'm gonna trying to find him. Not good to have a mouse when the health inspector's coming in, right? Oh, there he is. So, one thing you can do is apparently squish the mouse. Alright, so I think things are gonna... Now that we have some patrons, we're gonna get a little bit more handyman work. So we're gonna hire this guy, and I'm gonna drop him right by the mouse guts. I don't know if he knows right away to clean that, or how they're prioritized, but at the moment, he doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot. We got another mouse somewhere. Goodbye. Well, hopefully that doesn't affect our inspection report. Alright, now he's starting to work on it a little bit over here. He's getting the blood. I don't know what's worse, a mouse or a pile of blood from a mouse. Neither one of them is really good. They're not really giving us too many good options here. No one's really sitting down here, though, which is unfortunate. Well, all of that investment for nothing. Another thing that would be nice is to know, you know, how much time in the month you have. I can't really tell from here. But we did get a little reputation bump, which is good. So, right now, our bar is definitely our moneymaker. Oh, receive blue research potion. So we've got Lord Peter left. And how did we do? 5 on hygiene, don't know how. 5 on mead quality, 4 on dining quality, and 2.8 on the interior. That's probably my bad. And I actually don't know how that's judged. If it's just a matter of putting more stuff in, then maybe, oops. But, you know, overall, not too bad. And it says here that the inspection scores are determined by the lowest sub-score, so it's not an average or anything. You need to kind of take a balanced approach in order to do well on this. And I got a reputation bump of 30. So, you can live with that. And we got some radiation. There's something going on over here. I don't know what that guy's doing in there. But things are kind of humming along at an okay pace. Yeah, this guy researching. And this guy's waiting to get served. You gotta get over there, lady. I hired you to do this. This is our first... I think this is the first meal we're cooking. So, there we go. He ordered. Oh, that's a bard. Got high hopes for this guy. Arrive with 71 gold. Oh, what's he gonna do? Get on stage. You know you wanna. Nope, he wants to just skulk in the corner. Or maybe he just has to pee really bad. Alright, how are we doing? March. Let's take a look at our March report. Well, that's the February report. I don't care about that. Oh, actually I do care. That was the month that just passed. So how do we do this time? 604 income, and we've got 2,215 expenditures, 956 in monthly wages. Still kind of in the red here. We need to fix that. Unfortunately, we're starting to hit capacity on what our maidens can do already pretty quickly, because they need to both cook and serve the food. So we're gonna get this guy out, or this guy, I keep saying guy. This lady out here, this fine redheaded lady. Fine lass. And, okay, she's taking the order. Actually, I think 4 should hopefully be the ideal setup, because someone's got to go cook that food. She went and she's taking both orders, and she's going to be cooking one at a time. So I wonder if she told this other lady what to cook, because she's heading for the kitchen. But this is all we're going to roll with for now. And every month, I try to make a habit of checking how happy everyone is, especially new hires. They tend to come in kind of annoyed. Got to give them their signing bonus. 99's fine. Okay. Everyone's happy again. Notice I haven't had to give anyone a raise yet. They're happy with me just going, and other than this overpaid clerk. Oh man. 375. How much are clerks paid these days? 241. So she's got 244 skill with 129 potential. What's this lady got? Let's see. Oh, no. Definitely want her to do that. Oh, there's eventually express shops and TBD, whatever that means. What's her skill? 291? A little better. I don't know if she's worth that 375 wage, though. You know, we'll let her do her thing. I don't see too many people sleeping in beds here, though, so I think she needs to get her act together. Come on, lady. Alright. Things are moving along. Oh, we got too many people lounging over here. This is bad. We got money. God. We're leaving points on the board here. Oh, that's another rat. As you get closer, it gets a little louder, but it's kind of tricky to find. And there's some pretty, gratuitous noises in this game. I've yet to see anyone really get freaked out by a rat, though. Oh, there you go. Get out of here. I don't know why I get paid for that. I'm not complaining, I just don't know why. Alright, now we're taking care of the paid customers. That's good. Where's that little mousy mouse? I don't know. He'll pop out at some point. See how our research is doing here. So it's moving along, and actually you can drink these potions that while they're active will, you know, improve your research capacity essentially. And I apparently picked just the wrong time. Oh no, she's still working on it. Okay, that's good. Oh, looks like he's wanting to do some music. Go on up there, buddy. So what's happening here is we've got a bard, and he's about to play some songs. And as you can see, everyone's got a little musical notes popping up on him, and the importance of that is it basically helps sober him up, keeps him happy, does a lot of things. Oh no, did I build it barely just too far? Oh, it's not hitting him. That's too bad. It's okay though. Cash is rolling in. Alright, that's getting really annoying. Get out of here. He just walks right over the blood. Handyman, that's your job. Alright, we're starting to hit a little capacity here. Alright, things are going swimmingly. Money's coming in. Seems a little faster than it's coming out. Tavern value, 54,000. Assets plus profits, I guess. So let's... What was that? We're still in March, and let's speed it up a little bit. And April. Got a couple messages here. March report. How'd we do? Monthly income, almost 2 grand. And expenditures around 2 grand, assuming I'm reading this right. So we're getting close. Things are starting to move along. I was hoping more people would get in beds. I hope it's not an issue with my layout, because they should be sleeping, and because you can get quite a bit of dosh from people going and spending the night. Another health inspection. For a regular inspection of your tavern, please reply. I would like that. We'll let Lord Peter in. Oh, what is this saying? Oh. Okay. So far, it's not in too bad a shape. People are reading, people are enjoying. I think that some potted plants might do us some good. So I'll put a plant there, and this seems like a nice enough spot to put a plant. I don't know what the plants do, but I can afford it right now, so why not? How's everyone's happiness here? Maris, a little upset. That's okay though. Nothing a little bonus money can't fix. If only employers in the real world would have such a generous approach to this, right? I mean, we can go past the fact that I have not given them a single pay raise, but I can make it rain bonuses on them though. Yeah, this guy's getting his chicken out. There we go. See, 660. So we're starting to get people sleeping in those beds, and you can make a hefty profit from that. I wish there was a way to attract more bards, but I don't know how that works. It might just be a reputation thing. The higher reputation you have, the more people you get, which then attracts the musicians. I don't know. It's just a guess, or it could be totally random. Who knows? Who cares? I like my setup here. We're gonna just roll with it. The thing I wish that I could see is kind of like a high-level dashboard of what my patrons are thinking, because at the moment I have no idea. I could go and click down on them individually. So like this guy. He's spent 131 gold, which is incredible considering he arrived with 68 gold. Oh, 68 happiness, not gold. Apparently these guys are just... What is this? So that guy's drunk. This guy wants to read a book, so he's beelining for it right here. So I wonder if there's a benefit to kind of distributing some of these activities, because it seems like once someone decides, I'm reading a book, they pretty much book it for the nearest bookshelf and won't do anything until that happens. So having things spread out a little bit to reduce that travel time to get their butts on, sitting at a table and sitting at the bar could be beneficial. All right, so we got some mail here. Oh, we got a group reservation for April. I'm going to accept it. Always accept reservations. Department of Health 3.0, a little better. Not too bad. So my interior improved. Apparently those pots worked. I don't know if they were worth the amount of money I had to spend, but I got a little reputation gain. That's good. What is this? Added depth to our menu. After months of hard work, we were able to improve garden salad. Garden salad level 2 upgraded to level 3. So I don't know if that directly... Oh, wow. Lots of news. Need a bigger sword? Is your sword too small? Do the ladies make fun of your dagger? Wish you had a bigger piece of steel to swing around and slay your foes with? Enhance yourself with a great two-handed sword. Come down to Thrice Extremeth Blacksmith and get your free upgrade today. What's that small print? Please note that this advertised free upgrade is available to members only. Membership is 5 gold. You know what? Who couldn't use a bigger sword, right? I'm doing it. Got a rat around here somewhere. Don't know that. Oh, right in the middle. Get out of here. So you see this guy, he's leaving with like a green arrow. And I think that means he's gonna boost the reputation of the tavern. This guy wants to know what time it is, and he's kind of an idiot. Oh no, he doesn't. He's a worker that just needs a little break. Thought he was wondering what time it was. Silly goose. Alright, people are waking up and the money is rolling in. Reputation is halfway there. I think it's gonna happen a little faster than the first 4 months here. Where is this rat? Wish I was better tracking him down. There we go. I mean, really at this point, it's kind of on autopilot. As long as I don't screw up the wages here. How's everyone doing? I have some more bonus money. Well, at least this lady's kind of stopped complaining. I mean, she's got... I wonder... Oh, that might be it, where... If your wage kind of matches your capability, then maybe you don't get as sad. Because I do notice it does seem like it's the same people, so I'm going to... Actually, I'm not going to give him a wage yet. I'm going to wait for it to go down a little bit, then I'm going to get him a raise later. So it might be a balance between paying him the right wage and then just supporting that with bonuses as needed until their skill increases. Then they're a more valuable employee and they demand a higher wage. That system makes sense. Okay, we're getting a little out of control on the puke over here. We're going to need to get another handyman in here. We're going to drop him off in here. Going to go and manage him. Our third handyman. Oh, he's already upset going into this, but he's a damn fine handyman. Let's give him some bonuses. Yep, 10 gold each still, even for a mercurial talent like himself. Now, this one bartender is working hard. How's he doing from an energy standpoint? Bartender, he's 88. He took a little break there. He's catching up on his backlog. We don't need to hire another one yet, I don't think. He's doing a good job getting to all his customers. What do we got here? April monthly report. 4,000, about 4,150, 2,900, 1,100. We are maybe slightly in the black here. Let's speed things up though. Oh, there's our. Did that rat just go through the wall? That was amazing. Oh, sorry, dude. You got a pile of blood in the middle of your room. Well, let's keep speeding up. Overall, this seems to be going pretty well. That guy's leaving with a positive reputation. Go, 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 go. And before too long, we should be at the end of the level here. And for the most part, that's the beginning of the game here, is you gotta kind of go set things up, and then there is some management in the middle of the month you need to do. And there's actually a few more options than even what I showed you here. Well, let's give this person here a little bonus. If you go look, you actually can adjust the policy on a lot of things. So for example, if you're noticing that not too many people are buying food, maybe the issue isn't the quality of the food, maybe the issue is it's too expensive. So I have it set to the defaults, but you really have quite a few options, and this also exposes kind of what you had to look forward to in the game. So you can adjust the staff bonus rate, you can, you'll get spas, you'll get a gambling den later, 3 gold win probability of 1%. Oh, that's too funny. Express shop, whatever that is, archery range, a study, gym. So you're kind of turning this to more of a hotel by the end of this versus just a traditional fantasy tavern. But we're gonna keep it at the defaults for now. And also, if you're kind of running into problems, you can get a loan if you need it. And I'm sure some levels will almost require it. And then here, this is the kind of energy thresholds where once they've lost, say, 70% of their energy, then they go and rest. You can use it to kind of help load balance, who's rested and who isn't, and try and find the optimal way to handle that. Let's see, so that was June. Kind of sped through that month. And who's unhappy? Our handyman here. I mean, he probably does deserve a bit of a raise, doesn't he? Let's do that. Okay. Oh, there's almost like a little bar here. Is that the kind of skill to wage acceptance criteria? That's interesting. So let's... Oh, that's not a rat, that's a guest. There he is. Get out of here. What's our last few pieces of mail here? May report. Another group reservation. We'll accept that. And the Department of Health. I would like that. I'm feeling confident. Well, let's fast forward. So we got a bard going. People are enjoying it, having a good time. Lord Peter has entered the building. Come on. And we're almost done here. Actually, I think Lord Peter might bump it up. There we go. We have reached the end. Pleased to offer you a new management position. You can accept it now or at a later stage. This offer will stay in your mailbox. I hope to hear back from you soon. And that's the first level. Now at this point, if you want, you can just kind of go and keep running your tavern. But I think for the sake of kind of seeing the rest of the game, let's move on. But before I do that, I'm going to end the video. And that's it. That's the start of Tavern Tycoon. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, do all of that stuff. Follow me on Twitter at GrowUpInGame. Otherwise, I'm sorry I failed you, but hopefully you enjoyed it, and I look forward to sharing more videos with you in the future. So, have a good rest of your week, year, and life, everybody. Hopefully I'll see you soon.